Welcome back to the InboundREM YouTube channel. I am the founder of the company. My name is Robert Newman. I'm a 16-year veteran of the real estate industry, and today I'm going to show you a product that we've been working on for 2 straight years. It's going to make you a lot of money and do so in a way that's going to really surprise you. So without further ado, here we go. What you're looking at is a beta test of a product that we're calling a Location Master. Location Master websites are designed for one purpose. They're going to rank in hyperlocal searches. A lot of you aren't going to be familiar with that language. So hyperlocal searches really these days are kind of dominated by Google, okay? And here's an example of a hyperlocal search. Somebody does a location and your profession, and then they click that into a search engine or speak it into AI. And as long as you're using Gemini or Google, which is about still 80% of the people in the world, everybody, okay? So make no mistake, while they've lost a little ground, they haven't lost much. You're going to get a series of search results like this, okay? Those search results are coming from 3 different elements of Google. You now have AI, which is like quickly gaining ground, which, by the way, all the things that we do for Location Master will work for AI too. You have traditional, that's what you're looking at. Traditional is where you're competing against Realtor.com for the traditional search results. Traditional is just what Google was 10 or 20 years ago. For those of you who are older like myself and have been using search engines for a while, you know exactly what I talk about. Everything used to be 10 results, just like you're looking at on the page. And that has not changed. That's why it's called traditional. This is the old results format. And we're on there for this particular beta test client twice under the traditional results. But wait, there's more. We also are #1 for hyperlocal for the city. Now, South Pasadena is a relatively small area, but in a very popular part of Southern California. Anybody who's familiar with it will understand that South Pasadena is part of Pasadena. Pasadena is probably top 5 real estate market in SoCal. So not the most competitive, but also not the least by far. And then you have other results down here, of which we are not a part because we already got all our bang for the buck in the results above. All right, so that's what a location master is supposed to do. All right. Furthermore, location masters are supposed to target all of the searches that fall into a local bucket. Now, most of you are not familiar with what those are. You should be, because most people doing searches on their phone actually do searches like realtor or realtors. They don't say anything else. They throw it into their phone, and then Google, based upon your own personal reputation and the location of the person doing the search, serves up who they think the best realtor is. We consistently rank this particular realtor in Fort Bend for that search within about a 30 or 40 mile distance from his office. The rest of them, it's a little shaky. We're still struggling with some of those, but for the search realtor, he comes up and we get a lot of traction. Now, what does that do for you? Okay, what does coming up in that search do? Remember, most people are doing the relevant searches off their cell phone. So that is important for all of you to realize. A lot of people are not using desktops in order to trigger some of these searches. Some people do, such as a real estate agent or real estate agents. But if you type realtor into your phone, you're probably looking for one to talk to, like right then, in that moment. Maybe because you're sitting in front of a house with a sign or whatever it is. Here we go. So this is an actual profile. Now, I'm not going to show you. It's the same demo that I was using in BrightLocal. It's a client of mine who has allowed me to use his profiles for years as information for humans like you. So what are we doing? We're looking at how many calls he's had over the last 6 months. Okay, it's not a tremendous amount, it's only 10, but here's the thing about these local calls. Because the searches are so specific and because they're connected to your Google business profile, which contains reviews and information, ability to do directions and likely pictures of your houses, your former listings that you've had, and I can go on and on. It's a closing agent's dream. These calls usually close between 30 and 50%. So the amount of calls, like if I was to guess, Brett usually gets between 5 and 7 extra deals from local per year. It's a little hard to track because some of that goes to, guess what, his website. So people transfer to their website. So it becomes a multi-destination marketing experience. However, no website means no experience. What's more, having a website gives you about a 15% better chance to rank. And I already showed you some of the rankings that we were able to achieve for a client that was in the beta for I think it's been about 2 years now. All right, So you know what it's supposed to do. You've seen an example of said thing doing it. Now, the purpose of this recording is to actually show you our new product, because what we did is we used some of our old platforms in order to build this site. And while I have always loved our platforms, they've been wildly effective for many, many of our clients, we have for a very long time been receiving requests from clients to essentially zhuzh up our designs. It's a little hard to do because Google only reads a small handful of fonts, and you got to stick within very specific parameters if what you care about is ranking in the search engines and you're not compromising, you're not cutting corners. So what we did was we really took our time with it. But what we ended up doing is we all collectively as a team got together and decided that we really liked a lot of the design elements that you find in websites like Apple and Porsche. Okay, they're clean, they're minimalistic, so on and so forth. And so we took those ideas and we applied them to the Location Master. It's our first new design in a very long time, 2 or 3 years. And the principle of the website is the same. Some of the fonts are the same, as you can see, but we really decided to try to make it sexier, for lack of any other better word. All right. Some of the principles that need to be present for these location masters is you must have some information on the areas that you want to rank for in locally. You have to. It's not an option. So we design and build master silo pages for these sites. We have redesigned a content funnel for these sites specifically. The content funnel is very long. We basically build 5 pages into one. And you can see here where all the sections are. These are all what are referred to as page jumps, which is an SEO strategy related to user behavior. It will jump you up and down the page by clicking a button. Okay? You can see schools, entertainment, map. And if you go to schools, you'll notice that we have all of our stuff on buttons. Why do we do that? Okay? The answer is simple. User behavior is the #1 SEO signal for real estate agents in 2025 and likely into 2026. Okay, it used to be link building, it used to be lots of other things. These things still matter. These other things still matter. However, if you want to know what the #1 thing is that you can impact that does not require anything more than understanding what your customers would like to see, it's going to end up being stuff like this. Maps of the area. Okay? Maps are always things that people like to click on. It has been true for the whole 15 to 17 years I've been doing this. And it's true now as it was then. As picture proof, we've just launched this site. Just. We've already got 153 views on the map. And when I say just, I mean under 2 weeks. So these maps are a little tricky because we make them and post them on Google Maps and then plug them into the website. So people off that external tool can actually travel to the website. When you do good custom map work, people do that a lot. But most people are unfamiliar with that functionality, and so they don't understand it works that way. And most real estate marketing companies would never touch that with a 10-foot pole. The other thing that we do is we do FAQs for the same reasons that we've done every single other thing, plus the added benefit of these tend to be in the filtered search results on the first page of Google. Now, what does that mean? So we do frequently asked questions about Ogden, Utah. We do a Google search. You get the AI generation. We do this. And all these links that you look at is what that is targeting. This stuff over here on the right, there was a brief amount of time in which, and for some of you who have not upgraded to the new AI mode, you're not going to see it quite this way. You're still going to see what's called filtered or accordion menus on the homepage. The FAQs are targeting that, but they're targeting it specific to the location that's on the website. So basically, we make incredibly strong content pages to back up the lifestyle information on the Knowledge Center. With this particular site that I'm demoing, and all those little iconographies that you see are active links that take you off the site. The site's been reviewed by the client, and all the things that you could basically do in either Ogden Valley or Morgan Valley, you can find on this website. So it's going to check every box for your customers. If they're looking for some local information, you can send them to your site, and it's definitely going to check the Google box. Okay, so you've got those two things combined with a much sexier design. Now, this is a photo that's been provided us by the client, and that's where these location masters also really shine. We've added a lot of elements. We're going to take a small handful of images, 10 or 15. It takes most of our clients about 8 hours to set these up. That's all the work that's necessary to personalize these. Video or images work just fine in the background. We do all the installation. There's nothing else there. There's a zip code map for those of you that are going to ask about paid advertising. These sites have it baked in landing pages. Okay, they can just, there's going to be a map that's going to load up here. It's interactive, also for SEO purposes. So all these things in a strong accordion menu experience. Okay, this is probably one of my favorite things about the site. We redesigned this entirely to match 100% the experience that you'll have on much bigger, more popular websites. It works beautifully on a cell phone. I highly recommend that you check it out. Now, the best part is, drum roll please, these sites in this product line that we've designed is designed for people who are trying to break their marketing up or receive better, higher ROI with a smaller budget. These websites go for anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000, and a $500 setup gets you into our Location Master Marketing series, which is what gets you these results. Again, this video is about the website, not about the marketing, but that's the quote. Takes between 2 and 6 weeks to build one. And we're taking in 2 clients per area, so 2 clients per general city. And that isn't necessarily my top desire. If I can avoid taking a client in 2 clients in the same area, I will. So it's really more like a disclaimer. All right, we've got about 15 people that are in beta, and many of them had the same results that you're seeing in South Pasadena. It does take about 6 to 12 months, so please don't call if you're thinking that I can get you to the top of the local search ranking overnight. I cannot, but I can get you there over time. And I probably have one of the best track records in the entire country, if not the world, at doing so. So if any of that interests you, go ahead and look for a calendar link below. And if you want to talk to me about more about this service or more about these websites, or just ask some general questions, you can do so by scheduling a call with me. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're super excited for those of you who are going to try this service out because we think it's a game changer. Until next time.